Let's see if we can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
I hear some background noise still.
Yeah, guys, if you've not muted your line, go ahead and manually mute that. That saves.
Why don't you hit
me.
mute all and let me undo it?
Okay, I'll do that. Go.
All right, there you go, you guys. Welcome to the CEO Global Training. I'm excited to be here. It's May 6th. I actually was an hour off, to be honest with you, on my time. So Arizona is one of the few states that's actually smart, and we don't play with our clocks and cut off half of a blanket and put it on the bottom and try to make up more time. We actually just don't touch our clocks. If we want to get up earlier, we wake up earlier. If we want to stay up later, we stay up later. We don't play the clock game like the world does. It was for farmers. I think farmers with alarm clocks are smart enough now. If they want to have more daylight, they can have more daylight and set their alarm and get up earlier. So I was actually prepared to be on in about 50 minutes from now, and we were in the process of, at our house, I don't know if you've ever seen the cake baking show called Nailed It, where they take these amateur bakers and they attempt to bake something. And my son came up and said, let's have a baking competition. So I was just neck deep in flour, and we were baking lemon cakes against my wife, which was making a lemon blueberry cake. We were trying to nail it. So I don't know what's going to be nailed when I get out. It might be burnt. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But you guys, I'm excited to be here. There's so many exciting things going on right now, with all of our businesses. I know there's a lot of question in the world and things like that, but you know what? I can be part of the solution or part of the problem, right? So my goal is just to be part of the solution, go out and just help others. It's always been my goal is to do that. So you guys, I'm super, super excited to be here tonight and to be hosting with you guys this global training. There's people from all over the world on this call, and we're excited and thankful for each one of you for being on this call and for taking the time this evening. As we all look out Seth's beautiful window, if you guys look at Seth's picture since he's not there. Seth, if you could trim that bush right on the left there, that would be great. But with that being said, you guys, we're going to jump right into this training. We have a lot of great speakers that are going to go over all kinds of things. We have Dr. Brian Dixon. Sounds like he's going to look like Sasquatch when he comes on. Maybe he hasn't shaved like me. I just quit shaving. I just said the heck with it. It makes my round face cover up a little bit better, so I'm good. So you guys, we're going to jump right into some product training with the Trice Energizer directly from the one, the only Dr. Brian Dixon from corporate. So Brian, if you're here, we'll turn it over to you and jump right into some product training.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I just want to warn everybody before I actually start sharing my video. You might want to look away and slowly look back, but I guess we got a competition going on with the beard.
Oh.
So yeah. And then I think the real victim is here in the hair. I haven't had a haircut in I don't know how many months, but I don't know. Sorry. Apologies, everybody.
Well,
I'll be
you're
back.
Looking good, man. It's taken me a year to grow this thing, so you've grown that in 6 months. So go ahead and take it over. We appreciate you being on today and look forward to hearing from you.
I'm a huge hockey fan, and they took away my hockey season, especially the playoffs. So it's kind of my coronavirus playoff beard is what I'm calling it.
There you go.
And I'd like to thank Chris and Seth for having me on. I mean, I'm looking at the number of attendees that are on here. It's unbelievable, the turnout. So kudos to you guys. And it's a little bit unfair. I know some of what's going to happen on this call tonight. I just can't tell you how excited I am for you all. I'd like to give just tremendous kudos to the leadership that you have here. I know you have so many great leaders, especially Chris, and then working with Seth just a little bit behind the scenes on something that he's been working on. But when Chris said, that they want just to help people, that's exactly where their heart is at. And, Seth, for example, spending his own time and money to develop some things for you all. So you guys are with just such a tremendous group. I love the energy that's here, and that just comes from all the leadership. Like Chris said, I'm going to talk about the Trice Energizer, and I think maybe something that hasn't been at the forefront of the conversation for a little bit at LifeVantage, but I want to show you some data that I haven't shown publicly in quite some time. We've gotten away from it, and quite frankly, I think it's a shame. But, when we're talking about our products, what we're talking about is really trying to improve people's health. And my background is in aging. So we always used to like to talk about health span, that period of time in our lives when we remain healthy. And if anybody's ever had a health challenge and had that health taken away, I've been fortunate enough. I've never had any sort of chronic chronic disease or condition, but I've probably broken more bones than any one human being should. And just that period of time when you're out of being 100%, it's just absolutely miserable. And so we need to be thinking about our health constantly. And people like to lump their health and health span into these three general categories: lifestyle, environment, and genetics. And that's very easy, very cliche. I think we all know that. But I've heard this said before. I think we've all heard that you are what you eat, right? So your lifestyle, all that stuff you're putting into your mouth, you're a victim of your exposures as well. And that's good or bad. And that's why I love our hair care and our skin care, just that low toxic load that we're going to be putting on our body. But where I'm going to focus tonight specifically is, yeah, genetics also plays a role into your health span. And we used to think, especially in the aging field, that there was nothing you could do to actually affect your genetics. But it turns out, yeah, there's nothing you can do to change that primary DNA sequence inside of all your nuclei. But it turns out, as you all know, that you can actually affect your expression. So when it comes to genetics, you are what you are expressing. So what genes are actually turned on. And really what we're talking about when we're talking about that expression is nutrigenomics. And just simply put, it's nutrition that can ultimately make its way into the cell, into the nucleus, and then flip these switches, okay? And you know, one way I like to talk about it, probably because it's what I'm most comfortable with, is the theories of aging. So, you know, the three major theories of aging right now are the oxidative stress theory of aging, the mitochondrial theory of aging, and this newest one, the sirtuin theory of aging. It resonates for me. I know it resonates for some of you, but maybe there's a more simple way to talk about it. Maybe we should just start talking about these more in terms of health benefits. And so maybe whatever resonates most with you is the easiest way to talk about it. So what if we talked about those in terms of protection, energy, and vitality? Maybe a little bit easier way to couch it. But let's talk about nutrigenomics and what we can do to actually affect that expression and tip that balance into our favor of actually becoming a product of these genes and these switches that we're flipping. So I think everyone here has heard of NRF2. And if you haven't, don't tell me, because if you're part of LifeVantage, this should be just so core to your DNA, pardon the pun. But DNA is, or NRF2 is this protein that's so integral to really the survival and the protection of the cell. Okay, so NRF2 is normally just sitting quiet inside of the cell. And then what'll happen is some toxin or free radical or oxidant will come into the cell and it actually activates NRF2. NRF2 then, through some cell signaling, makes it into the nucleus, binds to certain spots in the DNA, and actually controls over 200 different genes. And these genes are directly related to antioxidant defenses and detoxification, okay? This mechanism is so important to life on this planet that literally every single organism in its DNA has antioxidant and detoxification defenses. So maybe now I'll ask you to put on your scientific caps really quick, but if we wanted to design experiments in the laboratory, what would we do? Well, because we want to look at nutrigenomics, we would look at various inputs or signaling molecules or nutrients that we'd want to utilize to flip the switches, in this case, NRF2. And if we can do that, we can elicit all of those health benefits that you see. So again, if I just bring up that schematic, if these nutrients are working, we can go to the laboratory, put some cells in a test tube. And if you're a molecular biologist, it's actually pretty easy to measure whether or not genes are turned on or turned off. And this is exactly what we did last September. We went into the laboratory and we saw that in just 24 hours, we could get this massive upregulation, or this flipping of the switches of these two genes that are known to be controlled by NRF2. So these protection genes have been turned on to 40 and 51%. Okay, so what about energy, or that mitochondrial theory of aging? Well, there's another very important protein that's related to mitochondrial health. And if you're not familiar with what the mitochondria are, they are literally these nuclear power plants that are living inside of our cells and are responsible for generating right around 95% of all the energy that our bodies need to survive and thrive every second of every day. And these are so important to our survival that if we turned off our mitochondria, we would be dead in a matter of seconds. In fact, some of the most toxic compounds on the face of this earth work by shutting off the mitochondria. So I think probably everyone on here has heard of cyanide. Cyanide is so toxic because it directly works on shutting off the mitochondria. So NRF1, same situation. It's normally just sitting there quiet and anchored. But scientific research has shown that there are nutrients we can utilize to activate NRF1, get into the nucleus, bind to the DNA again, and flip these switches related to mitochondrial health. And specifically what it's doing is regulating some other genes and proteins that are incredibly important for the efficiency of the mitochondria and also to help with their turnover. So as mitochondria are doing their job, as you can imagine, kind of being right in the mix of all of this energy production that's going on, they can also become a victim of this energy production themselves. So even the healthiest mitochondria are slowly getting damaged over time. And then this just accelerates with age as the efficiency decreases, more of this energy escapes the normal mitochondrial mechanisms, and you get this vicious downward spiral. So what we want to do is, one, support the mitochondria with various nutritional interventions, but then we also want to facilitate this turnover. So removing the bad, unhealthy mitochondria and putting new healthy ones in their place. And that all happens via NRF1. So same thing, if you put your scientific hats back on, we can get back into the laboratory. We can test those various inputs, signaling molecules, nutrients to see if we can flip that NRF1 switch and then elicit all of these health benefits around energy. Okay, so there's that schematic again. We can look at those two genes that are known to be controlled by NRF1 and look at this massive upregulation we see in just 24 hours, 65% and 71% increase in the gene activity of these very important genes related to mitochondrial or energy health. Okay. And the last one I'll talk about briefly is centered around NAD, right? The newest member of our flagship family of products in the Protandim family, Protandim NAD Synergizer. Again, you don't need to know a lot about NAD. I'll try to keep it as simple as possible, but another incredibly essential molecule to our survival and thriving in our health span. NAD is involved in that energy production we were just talking about in the mitochondria, but then it can also become a signaling molecule itself to turn on a lot of health promoting mechanisms inside of the cell. And so we can think about the NAD or these sirtuins or Protandim NAD Synergizer as really being our vitality. So we want to support that vitality and keep that vigor and that quality of life up. Same thing, put your scientific hats back on. What would we do? We can test a number of nutrients. We can look at the NAD switches that we want to flip, and then we can get all of these health benefits. Now, you might say, well, let me take a step back. So two things we wanted to look at are the biochemical pathways that actually make NAD inside of our cells. So we're taking a much different approach than some of the competition that's out there in the marketplace. They want to start by putting in kind of the raw materials, if you will. But any factory or any machine can only work as quick as its fastest machine. So our strategy isn't just trying to put these precursors or raw materials into the system. We actually want to reinvigorate the machinery and get that factory working as efficiently as possible. And so we looked at two key enzymes in that pathway, and we see a 12% increase in both of those genes. They might be saying, Brian, sit down. That you might be saying, it feels like me with my kids. You might be saying, hey, that's just 12%. But we went on to look even further downstream. And the main target that we want to look at is this family of proteins that are responsible for all of these health benefits called the sirtuins. And I'm not going to get into them today, but the best known intervention that's out there to increase the sirtuin activity is this notion of caloric restriction. And I mean reducing the number of calories that you eat between 40 to 60%. Reduction. We're talking the biggest, nastiest diet you've ever been on. So for me, that would be about 700 calories that I could eat per day. So with caloric restriction, it's been shown you can increase the sirtuin activity by 94%. we've been able to show in just 24 hours, we can increase sirtuin activity by 100%. So that relatively small increase in gene expression translates to this massive benefit that we're having on the cell. And then just for fun, we looked at the competition to see how they stacked up, and we could hardly even measure anything there. So if we can do all that, these are the health benefits that we can expect by promoting these vitality systems inside of the cell. But like I said, I wanted to focus a little bit on the Tri-Synergizer, and this is where things get unbelievably interesting. I've been in this industry for about 12 years, and I had the just privilege to come into LifeVantage and take over the R&D on this product. And so we fired up some research studies, and we just asked the questions, well, these products are absolutely amazing by themselves, but what happens if we looked at the combination together? Could we see additive effects? Additive effects would be great, but what we actually saw was a massive synergistic effect, and why we called it the Tri-Synergizer. So I'll put this back in the context of looking at those different, let's call them NRF2 genes or protection genes, however you want to refer to them. Remember, I showed you this data already at 40 and 51%. When we use the combination of these three protandem products together, look at what we see. We see another a 73% increase, or a further 83% increase in these genes that are so important to our overall health. For this other gene related to NRF2, look how massive that gene expression became at almost 850%, or about a 1,600% increase. I mean, we're talking about true synergy. Coming back to those NRF1 genes, I showed you this already at 65 and 71%. But when we look at the three together, we see a 90% increase, equating to about a 40% increase, or 120% when we use the combination of the Tri-Synergizer together, or about a further 70% increase in this gene activity. So again, more scientific evidence of the synergistic effect of this Tri-Synergizer working together. Now here's where things get really exciting. So you remember we had that 12% increase in these genes related to NAD synthesis, but when we use the Tri-Synergizer together, that becomes 10-fold higher at 128%, or about 1,000% further synergistic increase of that gene. And then the last gene just had massive results at 227% when we utilized the Tri-Synergizer, or about a 1,900% increase in these genes. So I know there's people out there that only love NRF2, only love NRF1, but if you love those products and you really want to maximize the effect of those products, utilizing the three products together is really where you're going to get the best health benefits from. And that's why we can utilize nutrigenomics, right? Utilizing nutrition to get into the cell, activate these genes, flip these switches to help us express those things that we want, so that we can experience these health benefits of protection, energy, and vitality. And that's exactly why we say with the Tri-Synergizer, you can flip the switch, feel better, and do more. So I hope that gives you just a quick background. I know I flew through that, but I think this is going to become available in a much more digestible format for you. So again, Chris, Seth, thanks so much for the invitation here tonight.
Yeah, can you grab that in this?
Where are we going?
Jorge, can you mute your phone, please? Hey, Brian, Dr. Brian Dixon, thank you so much for that information. You guys, it always kind of blows my mind a little bit when you look at almost 1,900% when you're using the Tri-Synergizer. So for me, realistically, guys, I don't understand why you wouldn't, right? I mean, why would you not use it? Yes, NRF2 is great. Yes, NRF1's great. Yes, NAD is great. But as a whole, the Tri-Synergizer, it flips a switch, right? So that is just such a big deal. So thank you so much, Dr. Dixon, Dr. Brian Dixon, for jumping on, for your time this evening. I know it's probably, you're in Utah, I think, so 6:30 your guys' time. I appreciate that, for you jumping on and taking your time today. We really do appreciate that. And that was great information, just to once again remind us how powerful what we have really is. And with that being said, you guys, we're going to move on to the next stage, which I'm actually excited for. I'm not going to do much introduction on this at all because I'm going to leave it up to Seth to do this. But Seth has been working on a project that I'll say it later after he introduces it, of something my son said, and I thought it was pretty awesome. So Seth, it's turned over to you.
Awesome. How's my volume, Chris?
Perfect.
Hey, a huge shout out. And by the way, we're maxed out, but we shouldn't be maxed out. I don't know why we're maxed out at 100, because that's not where we should be maxed out. Good thing we're recording this. We'll get it out to the teams. It'll be up there. So be glad that you were here early. But I am mortified that we've got friends sitting out who are not at the dinner table with us tonight as a family. Hey, guys, can I get some feedback? Can you blow up the chat box? What do you think about, I love what Dr. Dixon talked about. I was eating up this science, and that's kind of high level stuff, but just bringing it all down to 3 words. Does anybody remember what those 3 words were? And what do you think about that? I mean, how excited are you? I will tell you, I am doing Black Friday. I am doing backflips. Okay, I'm doing backflips, guys. To be able to take this.
D comes after C, just so you know. Just Dixon, D comes after C. Just get your wording right. You got it. Just kidding.
Love it. Protection. I love the ad lib here, guys. This is totally family. Protection, energy, vitality. Can you share that message, guys? Can you share that message? We have perhaps the most beautifully, as another scientist once said years ago as we were launching Life Advantage, you guys don't understand the elegance of your science. Okay, we have maybe the biggest leap in certainly our generation, maybe the history of medicine. Washington State University, not my words. And yet, what do people really care about? People care about, as Dr. Brian Dixon just said, they care about benefits and talk about being able to marry the science with the benefits, the anatomy and the physiology and what's happening at cellular level, and then marrying it with a 1-word benefit that is meaningful. Guys, I think this is a tipping point. So without further ado, let me introduce to you something that we have been working on for weeks and frankly months. We're introducing a new tool, a new video into use right here, and 6 minutes, and it's all about flipping the switch. I'm going to do a quick audio check here, and Chris, I'm going to ask you to be my eyes in the sky as I go to share screen. You should be able to see my screen and hear the audio from the video that I'm about to show. So I just want to test that. Chris, do you see the screen right now?
Yes, your screen's good. I'll tell you audio.
Okay, I'm just going to let the audio, let's do a quick test.
Yep.
Okay, guys, here it goes. 6 minutes. I just want to see what you think. Here we go. By the way, when I say we're introducing a new video, this is the video that I am going to use as a first touch. This is step 1 peak. Hey, Seth, what are you working on? Hey, what do you know about gene activation? Nothing. This is the first video that they will see. By the way, as you react to this video, I want you to throw your comments in the chat as well.
Yeah, can you hear me, Seth?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, so I just got to say, Seth shared this with me just a couple of minutes before this thing started, and watching it in person, it's absolutely beautiful. So yeah, forgive any of that choppiness. It's beautifully done. The music, it's just absolutely wonderful. I'm excited for you all.
What if it was as simple as flipping a switch? Well, it is. There's a mountain of scientific research that points to 3 powerful genetic switches in the human body that can make all the difference. The answers are on the inside. It's not about making, but rather what you are making. Let me say it this way. It's not so much about what products or supplements you are taking, but more about what your body is making. Think activation versus supplementation. And flipping the switch is what activates your body's own genetic health mechanisms. Turning on these 3 genetic pathways, yes, flipping the switch, unlocks the power of your genetic code and can change everything. By the age of 30, the normal aging process has already kicked in. These pathways naturally slow down and will continue to do so over the course of your life, unless you do something about it, unless you flip the switch. Science has finally proven you can flip the switch and has also revealed how. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. That time is now. The first switch is NRF2. NRF2 is a protein found in every cell, but it only works when turned on. Think of NRF2 as protection. This is the switch that turns on over 200 survival genes in the human body. This is why over the past 5 years, there have been over 10,000 studies on the health benefits of NRF2, showing that it is a master regulator of detoxification and antioxidant response, dramatically reduces oxidative stress, provides advanced cellular protection, and is critical for health span, the period of time you remain healthy. A recent peer-reviewed study from Washington State University states that NRF2 activation may very well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. This study also states that flipping the NRF2 switch is likely to be the most important health-promoting approach into the foreseeable future. The second switch is NRF1. NRF1 is a protein that has the ability to activate the power of your mitochondria. Think of NRF1 as energy. This is the switch that has an impact on every function in your body. The latest in scientific research is pointing to the mitochondria as essential for health, especially over the long term. Mitochondria power everything in your body, from your heartbeat to your brain cells. In fact, they produce up to 95% of the energy your body uses every second of every day. There are over 74,000 scientific studies researching the effects mitochondria play in your health. Sounds powerful, but as you get older and experience oxidative stress from normal everyday life and the aging process, your mitochondria function declines significantly. The solution is NRF1. NRF1 protects, restores, and supports the mitochondria and activates your body's ability to turn this power source on. The third switch is NAD. NAD is a molecule found in all living cells and is critical for regulating cellular aging and maintaining proper function of the whole body. Think of NAD as vitality. Dr. David Sinclair of Harvard Medical School and author of Lifespan was recently quoted in Time magazine regarding NAD, saying, "It's one of the most important molecules for life to exist, and without it, you're dead in 30 seconds. He continues, "NAD is the closest we have gotten to the fountain of youth." NAD is that important switch that activates your inner youth. Increase of energy, better mood, and better mental focus have been linked to an increase in NAD. Starting at the age of 20, a decline begins, and the levels of NAD diminish significantly over time. Depending on your age, chances are that you could be watching this video at only 40% of your NAD potential. But there is a solution. You can flip this switch too. And once it's turned on, you will feel supercharged, hyper-focused, in the zone, and keyed up. Supporting NAD levels is an important part of fighting age-related decline. protection, energy, vitality. Pro Tandem Tri-Synergizer is the solution to flipping the switch, activating these three powerful genetic pathways: NRF2, NRF1, and NAD. Individually, these three products provide life-changing results. But the most recent research shows a staggering increase in effectiveness, increasing these pathways up to 1,900%. How? By taking these three powerful products together. Pro Tandem Tri-Synergizer: protection, energy, vitality.
Brian, thank you so much for rescuing us. He is the doctor of techno. Thank you so much. Anybody else get chills watching that? I've been working on this for months and I got chills. Partly because I can now I was telling Stephanie earlier today, I thought I did all the hard work. The hard work's all in front of us because we got to go share this a million times. Appreciate all the comments in the chat box, guys. What do you think? Can you get behind super excitedly sharing that message with 100 people? Okay, so I'm seeing all these questions. When stinking is this available? Let me show you how. I'm gonna try to share my screen, okay? Because I wanna just talk, I'm gonna have two people come on. I'm gonna talk briefly about systems. I'm gonna talk, actually forget about it. I'm not even gonna talk about it. This is in the app, guys. This is in your CEO Pro app. You go to send a resource just like you normally do. You open up the 4-step system. You open up step 1, peak, and under biohack and under money, because you know you've got the two surveys, the health and wellness survey, and you've got the money survey. Well, guess what? Under both of those is the flip the switch video. Okay, so after the health and wellness survey, step 1, they'll get the flip the switch video. After the money survey, the money and business survey, they'll get the flip the switch video automatically as the same process that we've been doing, or you can just send the video. Okay, so here's my point. We have a new contest going May and June. Okay, if you don't know what the CEO Pro app is, get with your upline or PM me or Chris or anybody who's on this call that is on the app. I'm happy to walk you through the app, but it is stinking business system. And now, guys, I think this is the best video I've ever seen. You know, outside of maybe something that you can't create, right? You can't create the ABC News piece, but this is the best video I've ever seen that you could create. So I'm excited to use it. I've already sent it 5 times. It went live literally about 90 minutes ago. So it's already in your CEO Pro app, ready to use. We have a leaderboard, as we usually do, step 1 leaderboard, step 2 leaderboard for May, but there's a new contest for the next 60 days, okay? We're gonna be giving away cash, prizes, gift certificates, social media tools, 3 times a week if you're on this leaderboard. How do you get on this leaderboard? Share this video via the CEO Pro app, okay, with your current prospects who've not purchased product, with your current customers who are not on Tri-Synergizer, and with every single new prospect, as we normally would. With that, let me go to the system, a call out on the system. First, I'm gonna go to Bruna up in Canada. Guys, Bruna was the number 3 producer. By the way, the number 2 and the number 3 producers in the entire country of Canada for the Road to Regionals promotion were CEO Pro app users. They were CEO members. I want to give it up to Bruna just to take 2 or 3 minutes to talk about how this system, utilizing the app, utilizing these videos, and frankly, I want to get a take on what she's going to do with this video now that she's got it. Bruna, would you just take a couple of minutes?
Yeah, thank you for asking, Seth. So my name is Bruna Pilon. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. And I started with LifeVantage in 2013. Actually, my husband started with LifeVantage in 2013 when Canada opened, because it wasn't something that I wanted to do. We had 2 successful businesses and I didn't think this was a requirement. but he felt that a residual business was very important. And so as we started to become more successful, I kind of bought into it, because who doesn't want and enjoy and deserve a residual income? Last year, I hit a slump. You know, we all kind of hit slumps. And for me, when I was told about Protandem, it was a no-brainer, right? Who wouldn't take it? Now that we have the Tri-Synergizer, I'm thinking everything has increased. Why would I not do this? My background is in the beauty industry. I taught nutrition in the aesthetics curriculum. And so for me, it was definitely something I was going to take. My problem was having it duplicate. And so I've been working really well since Seth introduced us to this rapid funnel, because I did hit a slump, like I said just a few minutes ago, and I didn't know how to get going, relaunch, get my team engaged, and that was what was missing. So we had our social profiles, we had all the videos, we had all this information. What we were missing was this automation. And with the introduction of the rapid funnel, it was really instrumental to relaunch my head into this business once again. Because the reason that I've been doing so well is I started to treat this like a traditional business. I know some of you are probably thinking, what the heck is she talking about? I am traditional business. I know how to make money. My stepdad said to me when I was 16 years old, my very first job, he says, nobody gets paid until something is sold. So that was customer service, customer retention. That's what I did. So that was very familiar to me. Network marketing was not. But I started treating this business like a traditional business. So I talked to a lot of elites in LifeVantage, and they said, don't underestimate the power of a thank you card, of a phone call, of a following up. The rapid funnel was the last piece that was missing, because with the introduction of the rapid funnel, I was able to send information very naturally. I wasn't feeling like I was imposing on other people to give me their time to watch a video. They did that on their time. We're told that nobody wants to be sold, but we all like to buy. And that's what the rapid funnel has allowed me to do. So I put that link everywhere. I use advertising and boosting my posts on social media, on Facebook, on my business page with those links. So when people click through the rapid funnel links, I get to see them. I get to see strangers on my funnel that I can reach out and naturally start that conversation. So with this new video, I'm looking forward to doing that even more. I can't thank Seth enough, because he didn't have to reach out to us, but he did. And that relaunched everything for me. So I started working this as a traditional business, using the funnel as a traditional business. Whatever I did before, I do now with LifeVantage, with this business. So I'm eternally grateful in this pandemic that we've all faced. I still do my traditional business a couple times a week. And I'll tell you, just between you and me in the last post, is to introduce people to LifeVantage. But that part of my business, zero, went from income to zero. And if I didn't have LifeVantage to support us during the last 6-8 weeks, we would have been in trouble. So digging that well before you need it, that's exactly what we did. And that's what we're going to keep on doing. So thank you again, Seth, for that funnel. With this new video, I'm sending it out to everybody. You all know that you can actually send a launch to everybody that's on your funnel at the same time. To be able to figure that out, I'm sure. So thank you again, and over to you.
Wow, Bruna, powerful. Guys, drop some comments in that, light that chat box up. Thank you so much. We're going to go out to a lady who's torn this up, okay? She's been with LifeVantage for several years. She's got a great business going, guys. But Eileen, who you're going to hear from, she's going to be rocking a training here in just a few minutes. Eileen told her friend, Lillian, about the funnel, about the CEO Pro app and the system. And the system really, guys, is the funnel, the app, and the power hours, right? The doing things together, the mentoring, the calendar in this app. It's all based on a mobile first business. Lillian started that, I think, about April 1st. Lillian, I'm giving you a time to cue up your mic. And guys, she's rocking it. I hope she's wearing her blue CEO hat today, because she looks amazing in it. She just got it. But she's had an amazing April, guys. I mean, amazing April. And sorry, you lost me. That was a prospect calling me, probably ready to buy Tri-Synergizer, and they haven't even seen the video yet. She's had an amazing month. I'll let her tell her story. Lillian Merida, you're up and you look amazing in blue. Wow.
Yes. Thank you, Seth. I'm Lillian Merida. I am a dog trainer. I live in Florida. And dogs are not only my livelihood, they're my passion. But you know, Florida has crazy weather, so my business is tied to the weather, and my bills continue no matter what. My husband and I were both in our 60s. Our retirement was pathetic. And honestly, when I shopped at the supermarket and saw seniors bagging groceries, I thought, you know what, that may be me one day. And it made me really sad. And to add insult to injury, 7 years ago, our life was spun like in a twister. My husband was diagnosed with a very debilitating disease that was going to render him unable to work for at least 2 years. And that was the exact time that I was introduced to LifeVantage. I saw that wonderful ABC report that so many of us have seen. And initially I was just interested in the products, but after having incredible results with one of my dogs, I wanted to do the business. But I have become a caregiver 24/7. And the last thing on my mind was another thing in my to-do list. So for people that think, you know, I'm too busy, like that was me. And joining LifeVantage has been the silver lining behind this thing that changed our life, because we're not concerned about our retirement anymore. We've locked arms with the most amazing people, like all the people here on this call that just want to help other people. And the animal stories, that's what's near and dear to my heart. Don't even get me started with the animal stories. So I have been successful in LifeVantage. I'm a Pro 5. I'm very dedicated. I have not missed one single event. I listen to all the calls, to all the trainings. I've even bought trainings outside of LifeVantage. I read all the books that they recommend, but you know what? I was struggling. I thought, you know, how am I going to double my PV to get to the next rank? And what I saw that I was being told what to do, but I did not have an effective tool to implement it. And that is a simple but a very powerful difference. And I knew I was never going to stop sharing this information because we all know that our products are amazing, but I really was on the slow boat to China, adding a few customers here and there, you know, maybe a couple of distributors. And I felt responsible for my team that I have brought in, and they were really the ones that kept me going. So I honestly did not feel that I had a simple and duplicatable system that was also effective in a short amount of time. I mean, we have all heard it from Darren and every single person that gets on the stage. It's important for those distributors to be successful within a short amount of time, or their belief just wanes exponentially as time goes by. So this is what this app has done for me, the CEO app. In 36 days, I've been using it for 36 days. I have exposed 78 people to this information. I have done in this month probably more than I have done in 1 or 2 years. 70, that's 70 out of the 78 have engaged with the information. And what this means is that I have a 90% engagement. And how do I know that? Because the app tells me everything, what people are clicking on, how much they're watching of the videos. You know, that we felt like that broken record, like, oh, did you watch the video? Did you watch the video? That is like a thing of the past. I know when they've done it. And our team had a jump in 60% in our enrollment rate in April, pandemic April. I have 2 distributors in my team that are working with the CEO Pro, and they each one have one brand new distributor that we write in, like, this is what we're teaching now, is you, the minute you get your distributorship, you are signing up for the CEO Pro, because we know it's going to work. We just know it's going to work. So I want to point out something that Seth mentioned is, I think, the most valuable asset of this app is that we get together every single day, except Sundays. And like Seth says it, I love it. We put the move into the movement. We work together, helping each other. We come with our struggles, with our questions. What should I say to this person? I know for a fact that when a new distributor comes on, they don't want to say the wrong thing. They don't know what to say. Oh, now this person responded this. Like, what should I say now? And we all help each other. It's really a hands-on that was missing. The CEO meetups, those are the best LifeVantage meetings. I mean, any LifeVantage meeting that you've been to, these are like, oh my God, like over the top real people telling their real stories, and it's just the truth, you know, it's just the truth of what we have. It's so incredible. So we help each other overcome whatever hurdle we have. So this new app has added rocket fuel to our business. We can work from anywhere, travel. We truly work from the phone. And I cannot be thankful enough, first of all, to Eileen, who was my buddy at the Pro 5 Summit. And she called me and said, have you heard of the CEO Pro? And I said, no, but I want to know all about it. And she was very patient to help my team get started. And Seth, this new video is, I'm gonna start crying. And thanks for the dog. There's a dog there. I kept bugging him about, we need a dog in there, because we know our products help the animals just like they help people. So thank you so much. I'm so excited about the future, and I cannot be grateful enough to Eileen and to you. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow, huge, guys. Drop it in the comment, raise the roof. Lillian, you just absolutely crushed it. I'll follow you. I mean, I will follow you. Thanks for what you did. Guys, that's a story about what Lillian's doing just by following the simple system. It is seriously stinking easy. Okay, back to you, Chris.
Awesome, you guys. Where do you go from there? I mean, holy moly, that was powerful. I just love it. Lillian, thank you for sharing that. I loved your comment where you said, how we used to always say, hey, did you get a chance to watch the video? And that is a thing of the past. I absolutely love that. That's actually something I wrote down to share with others, because I absolutely love that comment. It's a thing of the past. You no longer have to question that. And that's what I love about it, right? You can call them and say, hey, I know you just watched the video. What did you like best about what you just saw? Right now you can go directly right into talking with them if you want, and following up with them video after video. You guys, it's absolutely amazing. 90% engagement. Congratulations. That's big. And you know, and putting the move into the movement, the Seth Moeller saying is definitely great. So you guys, we're going to move on to somebody that I've actually been able to do service projects with. I've been able to be around. I don't know how long we've known each other now, Eileen, but I think we've known each other for, I don't even know, 4 or 5 years now. Yeah, as long as you've been in, I think we became friends pretty quick into it. So we're going to turn it over to Eileen to share some great just tips on how to rock your story in 30 seconds or less.
All right. Hey, you guys. Thanks for having me on. And let me do this. I'm not the expert yet. Slideshow. I am grateful to be here. I'm Eileen. I'm here in Arizona, and I have been in LifeVantage 5 years myself. And like Lillian, I've gone to all the things, and I've listened to all the stories, and I've tried to work, and I've tried to make things work. And now when I joined with the CEO app here in February, after going to Cancun and meeting you guys, I saw the vision, and I saw how to do this. And I found a community of people who wanted to work together. And that's what we are doing, is working together. So we're going to rock your story in 30 seconds. And I'm going to show you how we're doing it. Not 30 seconds in my time frame, but a 30-second story. So stories are very important. They are the most powerful business tool in existence. If you look at any of these pictures across the bottom of this page, and you see the one on the far left, what do you think of? The double mint gum, right? You see Seth in the middle. So you think of the life and you see conversation time, or a friend, one of us the other day had someone on Facebook say, well, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, what do I say? I said, well, share your story. So she shared her story. And further, will change over time, because you're going to transform. We want to capture your audience, and we want to influence them. So the more engrossed an audience is in your story, the more likely they are to adapt the perspective of the teller. So that's what we want to do. Stories also dissipate resistance. They allow people to fall in love with your product. They allow people to fall in love with your business, and people may not question the cost. Our goal tonight is that we want to do 2 stories. We want to do a flipping the switch story, and we want to do a business story. They are 2 separate stories. And we're doing that because these CEO meetups are crucial to us moving forward in our businesses of exposing contacts to this, right? So we want, when we do the business story, we want to only do the business story. And when we do the flipping the switch story, we want to stay on topic. We're not going to mix the 2. They're going to be 2 separate stories. And keeping it to 30 seconds, you don't have time to hit both stories. So, and whenever you invite someone in on CEO the CEO meetup, you will be sharing. So be prepared. And if you don't have anyone on, all you have to do is text in the box, I'm ready to share, and they'll have you share that night if they can. So what is a story? A story has a character with experience. There is a beginning, a middle, and an end. You share emotions, you guys. We're not sharing products, ingredients, sales pitches, science. You should. Advertisement, we're not doing that. We're just sharing our experience, bottom line. Let people draw their own dots and let the host of the CEO meetup connect those dots for them. So when you're thinking of your story, what do you need to do? What experience eventually catapulted you to say yes to LifeVantage? What was your life like before? What was your life like now? What does your future look like? List of moments when you felt your why. What was your aha moment, right? And what are you excited about? And why? And what does that actually look like? Don't just say, I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the future because. Use that word because, it's huge. So here's step 1. Get it down on paper. Do not think of anything of compliance or anything like that. Just get your story down on paper. You can do that 3 ways as far as I'm concerned. 1, write it out, type it out, or get a friend and have them write it down. Oh, 4, I'm going to say 4. You can record it in your phone, which is a feature I totally love. Turning on that microphone, I turn on my Gmail and I put on the microphone and I just speak into my phone. It transcribes it for me. All I have to do is punctuate it and edit it. Step 2, when you have that first draft done, you need to think of compliance. And you guys, this is not a prison. Compliance is a gift. It is a gift because what it allows us to do, it allows us to tell stories that are more relatable. And I'll give you an example of that in just a moment. But it's for everyone to connect, everyone to see themselves in your story. That's what it's for. So every time you see that you mention a disease or a symptom, you want to think of, well, what function did I miss? What function can I not do? And how did that make you feel? Listen up, guys, that is so important. How did losing that function make you feel? That's where you really are going to connect with people. And who are you affecting? So some of you know my story. This is one of my original stories. And if we look at it, I've highlighted all the non-compliant things. So I told people I went blind. I had electrical shocks. I was unable to feed myself. I tried therapies. I tried medicines. Autism is in my family. Those stories, I got empathy from people. I got a lot of compassion from people. But I also got statements like, yeah, but I don't have that. Yeah, I'm glad it worked for you, but will it work for me? Because it wasn't relatable. It was my story 100%, but it was unrelatable. So when we tell those stories that way, we're really not connecting with the audience that we're sharing with. And that's where compliance is the gift, because now they've restricted us from saying all that, which they did in the beginning, I'm sure, but now we are really focused on looking at body functions or lifestyle functions. So statements you can say, what can you do? I feel younger. I feel happy and energetic. I've never felt better. Oh my gosh, my mood. I loved what Kim said the other day. She says, I'm the Energizer Bunny now. I sleep better. I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm excited about my future, and then describe it. Now, this one's really big, you guys. So these are just examples. Please take them for what they're worth. Traumatic brain injury, say I had a head injury. But what did that look like? It looked like I couldn't remember places I was driving to. Instead of pain, say discomfort. I have foot discomfort for plantar fasciitis. I couldn't play sports with my kids. See the function that's going with the discomfort that you're experiencing? Fibromyalgia, what functions did you lose? Being tired, not able to work. Autism, difficulty communicating, sounds bother the people. ADD, hard time getting projects done. ADHD, so argumentative and hating school. MS, challenges of walking and getting off the floor. And this is one that Eric Merchant has said multiple times. We don't say residual income anymore, you guys. We say leverage, because we're not writing a book and getting residual income. We are building a team and a networking community for leveraged income. So there's another tidbit. When you start your story, you need an attention grabber. I love how people can do this, and we do it by one of three ways that I know of. One, you find a challenging moment and you start there. Two, start in the middle of your story and then backtrack. Or three, start with a question. And Lillian used this in the middle of her story. She said, that's what it was like for me. You know when. And so when you start your story that way, it's an attention grabber and it can just get you going. This is what my story looked like when I started with CEO Pro with you guys. I typed it. Then I copied and pasted it. I didn't erase my original. And then I rewrote it and I rewrote it and I rewrote it. Now I didn't delete anything and I kept timing it each time. From that, I got down. And then you can see my first story, it took me 5 pages of cutting and pasting and redoing. My second story, my business story, it only took me 3 pages. I learned some lessons along the way. But that's the way you're going to craft this story, because in the end, you really want to have a story that's 30 seconds, 1 minute, and 2 minutes. But for the CEO meetup, we want to stick to 30 seconds. So here's my story from when I started. If you could read that first one, it said, I went blind after my 3rd child was born. People don't relate with that. This is my new story. When I was 35, I found myself crying at the kitchen table because my health had deteriorated so much I had no way of getting my kids to school. Fast forward, it says, I felt like a failure. I felt like a failure as a mom, a wife, and a community member. So you can hear the difference of how that message is pulling you in. And I'm telling you, finding this story in my past and sharing that is very painful for me. And I appreciate Lillian, because you know what she said to me? She goes, oh, Eileen, I really connected with that. And that spurred an idea with me, which I'll share in a minute. So hold on. This is the system to write that 30-second story. Number 1, you're going to copy and paste. You're going to edit it and no deleting. Read it aloud, time it. Is it what you want? Copy and paste it again, just like I just showed you. Editing questions. What is really important about what you're trying to communicate? Can I reword it? What am I really trying to say? And this one's huge. What was that experience like? Tell me more about it. And the last one, which I love, is work with a buddy. They will see things in your story that you didn't see. They may know you well enough to say, ooh, you know what? You've got this part of your life. Pull that into your story. This is the best ever. It's working together, just like the Power Hours is working together. Working together on your story is super powerful. So that's just showing you one of the systems I went through. I started at 1:14, went to 58 seconds, 55 seconds, 49 seconds. It's a little bit of a process and it's worth the investment. So here's an example. We are getting together every Monday and Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we are working together. And I'm just going to share with you 4 clips from what we experienced by working together.
Or, you know, something like that. I like that. The blessings kept coming and coming. Something like that. You know, the changes.
So you can hear how we give input to each other about what strikes us about your story.
Do you think there's a dramatic difference as far as compliance and with the FDA between saying brain injury and head injury?
that input is what we need from people around us, and it's awesome. Okay.
I think overcomer comes to mind for, wow. I mean, that story is going to speak to so many right now. I think you really need to focus on what they just discussed, because some people are living that right this minute. And to give that hope is, I mean, it gives me tears in my eyes just to think about that. It's so relevant for what people are feeling right now. And the fact that you can inspire people to get out of that is incredible.
That, I love that, Melanie, and thank you for letting me share that, because that is what your story is about. It's about sharing that and connecting with people. And our last one, that beautiful. How long was that, Lilian?
Oh my God, I forgot to stop it. It was so, I was so drawn in, but we're at 141, so
So Lilian was in charge of timing, and she was so drawn in by Kim's story that she forgot to stop the timer. That's what happens when we're together. We are laughing, we are enjoying each other, and we are building each other up, and we are supporting each other. So some things that people have said about being together and working together, we're identifying what stands out to people, and I'm just going to summarize a couple. I feel like I have less fear is a great one. I saw culture of the people. I feel more comfortable moving forward. I feel immediate support. I'm compliant. Woo! Others are willing to help me. I focus on what's important parts, and this is fun. So you guys, after you got your story crafted, you're going to put it into your phone on the record setting. And then you're going to play it back, and you're going to practice it. Practice it for what it's worth, and that way it just flows off your tongue, and you can adjust it as you need to in other situations. But then you're ready for CEO meetup, and you're going to share, because that's the way you're going to grow, and you're going to continue expanding your business. So this has been story time. You guys rock. We can rock our story time in 30 seconds, and we can go bam, 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 and have that meetup in 20 minutes and save and impact our prospects and share this with others. So the next CEO meetups, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and the next story sessions are Monday and Wednesday. So thank you for having me share. Thank you.
Eileen, thank you so much. Wow. That was powerful. That was, well, you guys, Eileen, I don't even know where to go, you guys. That was fantastic. It's fantastic to be able to craft that story and have people listen to it with you, because that story becomes very powerful. I loved where you said compliance is not a prison. That's something that, to me, I agree with you 100%. To me, compliance is not a prison. What it does is empowers you. It empowers you to be confident within your story. And I think that is absolutely key to having a successful 30-second story for the CEO meetups, you guys. And preparing your story to flip the switch or the business story. One thing I wrote down too, I've always said this is, when you're out sharing that story, more people remember how they felt than what you said, right? Lilian she felt what was going on in that story, and she actually forgot to stop the timer. That was big. That's exactly because you tied her emotion into it, and I absolutely love that. So with that being said, we're going to move on to our next guest speaker, which is going to be Bob Robbins, and it's going to be how to bring power to your duplication and your mentoring. So Bob, you got audio there?
I do, Chris. Thank you.
Awesome.
Can you hear me
Bud.
all right?
And I'll turn it over to you, Bud. Take it over.
All right. Seth told me I had about an hour to do this. Is that right?
You were
Just kidding. I'm one of those ones I think that could use Eileen's help. I always seem to run long. But I'll try to keep it short. Bob Robbins, Phoenix, Arizona. We joined LifeVantage in 2011, and we've been very, very blessed to have some success. 2.5 years, we hit the rank of Pro 6, and then a year later hit Pro 7. One of the things that we learned from Blue Elam a long time ago was different phases to this business. First is invite and enroll. The second one was to present. And then there's a third one in there where you go to mentoring. And I will tell you is that I feel like haven't really mastered any of those, right? We've had some success and been there, but the one I struggle the most with, and I think Lillian talked a little bit about it again, as Pro 5 and she's growing, is she wants her team to be successful. We want our team to be successful, and I feel that weight on our shoulders. And I am so grateful, because what I tell you is that much like you've heard Eileen and Lillian and about not missing events, we were fortunate enough to go to Ireland to win that trip and to go there, that promotion, and had an opportunity to meet and see you there, Chris, but also have breakfast and several times with Seth. And he asked a great question, said, what is your system? And we had a set of behaviors, but we didn't have a system, and was gracious enough to show us this app, the CEO app. And what I will tell you is that it has changed our business. But not only that, it is what I see as far as a duplicatable system that we can teach to our team, that we can teach those behaviors and help them along the way. Much as Eileen was talking about crafting a story, right? You listen to Lillian. I remember when maybe third or fourth time that she had hopped on and was asking more questions, I think, than maybe doing things. And now she's leading those meetings and answering questions. And the growth is phenomenal that you see in the people that are on these power hours. So what I'll tell you is that the system of this power hour to meet together, to work together, right? That where you have a focused time to be able to help a team. And in that focused time of intentional business building activities for 60 minutes, I can feel good about myself that I've done business building activities for myself, but also it's a place to provide that opportunity to help your team. You know, there's 8 behaviors that we do in there, 8 particular things that we do there, business building. Jumpstart conversations, peak. We have an amazing tool now, this peak video that Seth provided for us, right? And then the presentation, follow up, close, connect with others, social media to engage and comment, find friends, and then create content for ourselves. We walk through those steps together, holding hands. And what I tell you is that you have others like Lillian, you know, like Eileen, like Seth, others that are on here, Melanie, the Hightowers, different ones that are on here, they're on a regular basis where you can reach out, you can ask questions. Oh, what do I need to respond to this answer, this question, right? As you are starting those conversations, as you're inviting. But what I will tell you is that these actions really are the system, and we all need to do them individually, and we can do them individually. But there is a power that comes when you do it together as a team. When you spend that hour together as a team, it increases your power, your strength, your confidence, your ability to go out. And what I've found is by doing that on a consistent basis, it's working our team on a consistent basis. It provides a consistent opportunity for us to mentor and be mentored together. I am grateful for those. I'm grateful for Seth and his reaching out, inviting us to be able to do that. But I do feel that it is blessed, not only my wife, Laura, and I, but it's also blessed because we've been able to share this with our team, this system that's very easily duplicatable. And we have a team that's all over all over the world right now, and that is actually following this example and doing their own power hours and going through these same systems together. So again, this is a system that is easily duplicatable. It allows you to move from the one step to the next, from that in learning how to do the invite, right, and enroll somebody, learning how to present, again, because we do a mobile first strategy, to actually then the mentoring phase where we're able to help each other together. So it's been life-changing. And again, I will tell you this is so much more exciting and enjoyable than the first. We joined in 2011, so I would say the first 6 or 7 years of doing this without the app. That meeting first idea, it wasn't so much fun, right? But this mobile first strategy, loving it. So thank you, Chris. Turn it back to you.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for jumping on and sharing. And I agree with you guys. Before it was, how do I figure out how to share? How am I going to get this information out? And we're trying to figure that out, right? And then it is, well, when do I follow up? I don't know if they've watched it. I don't want to bother them. Blah, 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 right? Now you know when they watch it. It's taken all those restrictions away from you. What you have to do now is actually just go to work, show the videos, show the information. But I can tell you what, I'm excited about that new video. I was just going to tell you guys real quick here, when my son, my 13-year-old son, was looking over my shoulder as we were piecing that together, and we were going through advice back and forth on what to have in there, he watched the first about 35 to 40 seconds of the flip switching thing, and he looks at me and goes, "Dad, what product is that? Like, what? I want that. What is that?" That's my 13-year-old son was just looking over my shoulder, saw that, and had no clue that it was our product and what we are. So it's just really excited where we're going. But to close things out, you guys, Seth hasn't responded back to me. We were always chatting on Messenger as this is going on at the same time. He actually had a prospect drop into his house, an impromptu kind of, maybe his prospect's listening right now doesn't know he's a prospect yet. I don't know. But hey, either way, buddy, if you're listening, get involved. You're going to want to be involved. With that being said, you guys, I'm going to close this thing out with a couple things. We're going to talk real quick for the next few minutes just about the Flip the Switch promotion. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Let me see if I can get this. I don't have a backup plan like Seth did. So let's see. Hopefully you can see that, Bob. I can see you still. Can you see that okay? Perfect. Awesome, you guys. There's 3 ways. Flipping the switch to your business, you guys. This is actually a really easy but yet really powerful promotion going on right now, because I can tell you this. I know a lot of people that need some extra money right now in their pockets, okay, by going out and doing the right behaviors and doing the right things. So let's talk real quick about this, and then we'll close this thing out. If I get a message from Seth, we'll have him jump back on. If not, no big deal. We'll close this thing out. But let's talk about this, you guys, real quick. Step 1, the reach bonus, which is real simple. Go out and reach the rank of Pro 3, Pro 4, Pro 5, or Pro 6. If you reach the rank of Pro 3, you're going to get paid an additional $250 or $350, depending if you qualify for Paysetter or not, okay? If you're at a Pro 2, and we'll talk about that in a minute of the next, but if you're a brand new distributor and you get to the rank of Pro 3, you're going to get those bonuses. If you maintain them the following month, you're going to get that same bonus again, either that $350 or $250 if you look in that area. Pro 4, if you reach the rank of Pro 4 for the first time, they're going to give you a bonus of $500. Maintain it the following month, you're going to get an additional $500. All the way down to, imagine if you're sitting at Pro 5 right now, or you haven't, let's say you were a Pro 5, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but if you're sitting at Pro 4 right now, and you say, if I get to Pro 5, the company's, in May or June, the company's going to give me $1,000. And if I maintain that rate the following month after, they're going to give me an additional $1,000. Well, if you're sitting at Pro 5 and going to Pro 6, you guys see what that is, right? $2,500 to get there, an additional $2,500 if you maintain it. That's reaching up to that bonus. That is a big, big deal, you guys, for so many people. So many people are in need, small businesses. I would be talking to every small business owner I know right now, because those are the guys that are hurting the most in these times that are going on right now. So let's talk about the return, right? You reach out and hit a bonus, or you return, okay? In the months, basically in December of 2019, if you had not achieved the rank of Pro 3, for example, in January, February, March, or April, and you get back to the rank of Pro 3. So let's say you were a Pro 2 in December, and let's say you were a Pro 3 2 years ago, and then things happened and you fell back, and you've been a Pro 2 for the last year. If you get back to that rank, look at all the details just so you can be super clear, but if you get back to Pro 3, the company's going to give you $250 in May or June. You got to get back by May or June. Maintain it, another $250. Same thing, you guys. Just look at that fine print, and if you have any questions, reach out, but it's real simple. If you were not a paid rank of a Pro 3, 4, 5, or 6, you can get back there if you were in the past and still get this bonus of either $250, $500, $1,000, or $250. You guys, this is a big deal. There's a lot of money on the table, and I'll tell you what, here's the great thing. There's always the person that's out doing the work. There's the person that has done really well, and then they struggled. Have we ever gone along the return bonus? You ever go along in life, you're doing really, really well, and then something happens, you kind of fall back a few steps. That is okay, you guys. We care about you guys. We're going to bring you right back to those ranks and get you those bonuses. anywhere between $250 to $2,500, you guys. That's an additional possible. If you qualify and maintain, it's a possibility of getting an additional $500 to $5,000. And I'll tell you what, I see Gina, my goal is Pro 5 by conference in October. That is awesome. You guys get back to your to these ranks, or get there for the first time, and you're going to get these bonuses. Well, what are you going to get when you're out helping somebody? Well, as long as you bring in new $500 in sales, that's the first part. If you bring in $500 in new sales volume, you basically, as you help people achieve their ranks, you're going to get a mentoring bonus, okay? You're going to get a mentoring bonus if you personally enrolled somebody and you help them get to the rank of Pro 3 for the first time. The company's also going to give you, as the enroller, a $125 bonus. Anywhere between, if you help your personals get to Pro 3, Pro 4, Pro 5, Pro 6. Those are the center point, the foundation ranks in our company. Pro 1s to me are the most important, but these are the ranks that really get you moving, okay? And they're going to help you, if you're the mentor, to receive a bonus for helping your individuals that you sponsored get this money also. So you guys, the flip the switch bonus is a big bonus right now. I personally love when the company comes out with this. When I read all about it and heard about it, it was Justin thinking of a way to you know, we haven't done events right now, so let's put the money right into our pockets of the people that need it. You guys, this is a way to help so many people right now in a really quick way. So that's the flip the switch bonus. Simple. Reach it, reach the rank, get back to the rank or return, and you also get number 3, paid to mentor. This is a really big deal, you guys, and I'm excited to share that with you. With that being said, I'm going to come back on. I haven't got a message from Seth, but I'm going to tell you this. I am so excited with the opportunity, the idea to come up with this app, the idea to get it out there and share it with more. Here's the problem I know. I know right now there's people struggling, sitting around, looking for a way to build their business, or they're in that down slump, whether it's what's going on in the world or just life, business, whatever it is. There's a lot of people looking for your answer to give this to them. And I'm not just saying the app, I'm talking about the business. The app is just another vehicle. You can do this without the app. The app has just made this really easy. I'm looking at Bob's head shake right now. He doesn't realize he's big on my screen right now. And I'll tell you what, it just makes it easy. It really does. It is so simple to say, hey, I'm going to go for a walk this morning. It's something I do all the time, and I would challenge you guys to do this, okay? If you're going to go for a walk, get out, do something, a little bit of exercise, go outside, do a little yard work, say, you know what, I'm going to approach people, and once I get somebody to start watching the video, I can be done doing what I'm doing. And I've done that before. Go on a bike ride, go on a walk. I've walked for 60, 65 minutes before because I couldn't get anybody to respond yet, right? So motivate yourself with something to go out, and whether it's just to better your health. I love doing it. I tie it always with exercise because I know if I don't do it, then I get stuck on it. Okay. And I don't like walking on a treadmill, even though those are all closed right now from the gym. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much to everybody that shared, from Eileen to Lillian. I missed a few people, from Bob to Seth, to Dr. Brian Dixon. Thank you so much for taking the time away from your family. And I'm probably forgetting someone, but you guys, Bruna, oh my gosh, Bruna from Canada. You guys, thank you so much for sharing with what you guys have shared. This is a powerful time to build your business. I can promise you that. This is a time, if you work now, can change your business drastically over the next few months. So I would challenge you guys this. Before this evening's over, get one person engaged and watching that new video. If my 13-year-old walks up behind me and says, "What is that, Dad? I want that. What is that, Dad? Is that your product? Dad, I need that. Is that the Protandim I take every day?" I'm telling you what, people need to see what you have. And I promise you this, there's a gift. Remember this, when you realize that you have a gift, you have no problem sharing it. Beverly, the video's in the app. Somebody just asked that. It's on the peak and the money survey.
It's under the peak.
Any
Sorry,
questions?
Chris. It's under the peak?
Yep.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't
That's what I needed.
questions, hit me up afterwards. You guys, let me
Sorry.
close quick. I'm going to do this. I'm going to close out real quick, and then I'll stay on and answer any questions possible, if that's okay with you guys, and then we can change from there. But you guys, thank you so much. This is the CEO Global Training from May 6, 2020, and thank you all.
Hey, have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Thanks, Chris.
Good night.
Thank you.